Good morning, it's Talking Reds. It's John Gibbons hosting on this lovely Wednesday morning. I'm joined by the equally lovely Josh Sexton, and we're here to bring you all your latest Liverpool news, a little bit of what's going on with the Anfield Wrap, and of course, we're all getting excited because we're off to Paris. Bus goes tonight for us, 11 p.m. I don't feel very ready, I'll be honest with you.
To be honest, John, I was sat in the office yesterday and asked Emma like when the bus is, and she went, it's literally tomorrow, and that blew my mind, to be honest. It constantly feels like this date that's like far away from you, and then all of a sudden it's literally today, but it was tomorrow then. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, loads of build-up across the Anfield Wrap, of course. There is a media day today going on as well, so Jurgen Klopp is going to do a press conference, so there'll be a little bit coming out of that as well. But before all that, I want to talk a little bit about transfer stuff. We have got a gutter being recorded today, so there'll be much more on that. But a little bit of a blow potentially overnight. Tchouameni, who I've just learned how to say, has seemingly, according to a journalist in France, chosen to go to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I'm never sure how much to buy into these like stories, because it could be, you know, agent games and that kind of thing. It could be his agent trying to sort of force Liverpool's hand, get Liverpool to make a move quicker, get any club who may be in for Tchouameni to make a move quicker. I also have to say, like, I wasn't completely like bought into this transfer in the way that some other people may have been by this point. I don't know if it's because the Reds have been like literally winning every football match under the sun, or whether it's just because I've not really seen this lad play and like hadn't really heard about him until a couple of months ago. So I wasn't quite as bought into this one as everyone else was, but it feels like it is a transfer blow, because obviously if he's on Liverpool's radar, then he must be, you know, the sort of player that they're after, the sort of player that would be a good buy to have this summer. He's a young midfielder, so he sort of fits that profile of what I think we personally need this summer. So in that sense, I guess it is a blow, but I'm sure we'll find another lad.
Well, that's the thing. I'll just read out the quotes. It's come from French journalist Julien Maynard, who Rob will know all about later, so he'll be able to give the rating, his prices out of 5 in terms of how reliable he is. But he says Tchouameni has chosen Real Madrid. The Monacan midfielder has already announced his departure to his teammates. So it seemingly looks like that's sort of happening. It wouldn't surprise you if Real Madrid have stepped up their interest, because obviously they've been left with a bit of custard pie on the face over the whole Mbappe thing. So it wouldn't surprise you if they've come in, you know, with a bit more money towards the end, maybe for him or the club or both, and managed to sort of steal a march from Liverpool. But like you say, Josh, you know, what proves in the past for us and reasons why we shouldn't be too disheartened by this is that, you know, I remember the Mo Salah summer where it was a Goethe who was first choice, and they were trying to sort of get him over the line, and then Jurgen was persuaded to go for that lad at Roma who looks decent. And so you back the transfer committee, you back Michael Edwards, Julian Ward and the boys to unearth a gem, and you know, it's not just that they've got this one player that they want to go for. There's a few that sometimes they're going for at the same time, and so I'm sure the other lads are great as well. I'm
sure there's been a couple of them in the past as well. Like I'm sure around the time that Mane signed, we were looking at Mkhitaryan before, and then he went to United, and then we signed Mane. I know United have been sniffing around Mane before that as well. So there's always these ones. It's funny really that you mentioned about Real Madrid getting custard pie on their face, because there's people who are sort of perceiving it that's happened to Liverpool now, particularly, you know, with Mbappe as well, because Mbappe had obviously come out and said there'd been talks to Liverpool, but now Tchouameni, people are saying, oh yeah, Liverpool fans must be gutted, like you've missed out on this player, missed out on the league and stuff. It's like, we're all right, you know, lads. Like half of us are off to European Cup final tonight. You know, there's loads of us throughout this week who are going to be heading over to Paris. And
I did enjoy the Bleacher Report tweets. Oh, bad week for Liverpool fans. You're like,
honestly,
boy.
Absolutely wild. Like with club misses out on player transfer. Like, so it happens every single day. There'll be a million transfers that we sort of miss out on that we don't know about. It's just when there's obviously rumours going around, it feels like the club misses out. But as I say, look, I trust Liverpool's transfer strategy enough, and I trust them to make sure that even if they do miss out on this Tchouameni, as you say, there'll be another target out there they can go and set their sights on, and that target will be, you know, just as much of a fit in the squad, just as much of a fit to the style and that kind of thing, and we'll go and get him, and then we'll be cheering his name on the cup in a few years' time.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But much more of this, as I say, on the award-winning gutter, which Rob Gottman is hosting at 4 p.m. tonight. We'll be looking to get out either late tonight or early tomorrow morning, so look out for that. Also, obviously, across the summer, absolutely loads of transfer stuff. Video-wise, Talking Transfers is back. Me and hopefully Paul Ghost around next Wednesday, and then throughout the summer, weekly from there as well. So make sure you download the app for all that. In terms of happy news then, Jurgen Klopp getting the Manager of the Year award. It's always a funny one, always a bit controversial if you have a little look on Twitter to see sort of people arguing and things like that. It doesn't always go to the manager who wins the league. In fact, the year that Liverpool won it by 20 odd points, it was actually Chris Wilder who got Manager of the Year. And so I remember a year George Bailey winning it back in 2001 when Liverpool won a treble. So there'll always be people who feel like, it should be their guy. But I think if you want to be objective and reasonable, it is hard to argue that Jurgen Klopp deserves some recognition this year for what it's done, because it's been an incredible managerial performance.
Absolutely, there's got to be sort of nuance to it, isn't there? Like if it was just whoever the manager is who wins the league, then like that would be relatively boring. And I say that with the knowledge that I think Liverpool are going to win the league next season, and that I think as you say, when Liverpool won the league, Chris Wilder won it. So I don't think it should always go to the manager who wins the league. I think there's got to be a bit more to it than that. And people will say, Jurgen Klopp won the was on track for the quadruple, is looking likely to win the treble and that kind of thing. But I wouldn't even say it's up to that, because particularly for the Premier League Manager of the Season award, I think it should just be judged on the merits within the Premier League. But Liverpool finished third last season. Liverpool had a torrid season last season. They were written off by everybody over the course of the summer. You see those screenshots still going around to this day of the BBC predictions of where they expect Liverpool to be. And Liverpool chased Manchester City into the last 15 minutes of the season. Everybody expected Manchester City to be at the top of the table, to be where they are. There's the obvious sort of caveats that always come with Manchester City's achievements there, and that's what Pep Guardiola has to live with. And we know he doesn't live with it very well. We always know he's a bit fuming about that sort of thing. But Jurgen Klopp has achieved so much this season. He's pulled Liverpool back from the brink, and he's got us to this far in the season.
Absolutely. I think he's done a phenomenal job, and you are right to point out the predictions of the summer. And I think if you are one of these pundits who didn't even have Liverpool top four, you can't then say he hasn't done an absolutely brilliant job. Yeah, he's got fantastic resources available to him, and it is the best squad that Liverpool have. But still, he's put that together. But he's also galvanised them over the summer, come back from a really difficult season, and managed to get us to 2 trophies and hopefully a third. It is obviously the big one on Saturday. 3 days left, is it? That's what it is.
What even are days anymore, John?
I mean,
days. It's just football matches, no days.
I mean, days will become a loose concept for us at 11 o'clock tonight when we do get on the bus. Times and days will be sort of a tricky thing. But in terms of from a Liverpool point of view, as I say, there's a media day today, so there'll be pics coming out sort of from open training and things like that, and then all the build up will turn towards Saturday. And you've been to a European Cup final before, and you've been part of a media organisation covering a European Cup final, and it does almost surprise you really just how big it is, and just how big it is around the world really, and we're used to being in a bit of a Liverpool bubble, and Liverpool Football Club being the most important thing to us every day. But once we get to Paris, I'm starting to think the realisation will hit me just what a big game this is.
Absolutely, yeah. And we as Liverpool fans live in that Liverpool bubble, and obviously we're all sort of gutted about ticket allocations and the way that's gone for us this season. But one of the things that UEFA neutral section, for all of its sins, allows people to do is it allows potentially Liverpool fans around the world to get tickets for this game. It allows Real Madrid fans from around the world to get to this game. I remember being over in Madrid and meeting a few people from sort of all around the world, and meeting some fans who never got the chance to come over to Champions League final, and we're getting that chance. And there's something nice in that as well. And there is a massive sense of occasion around it always. We're lucky enough to have been to 2 European Cup finals, 2 of the sort of last 2 that Jurgen Klopp has took Liverpool to, and the sense of occasion around both of them. Shevchenko Park before Kiev with the fan zone. Was it Placido Mayor in Madrid? Both of those were just massive sense of occasion. There was a sea of red. It really built you up for the game, and then you go into the game and you're still feeling that sense of occasion as you go in. We've obviously got Camilla Cabello performing before the game this season, which is really important, by the way. Whatever the pre-match entertainment is really important, because we've gone from the magic of Dua Lipa and the song that's given us to those goths Imagine Dragons who decided to set fire off when it was 50 degrees.
Unnecessary heat from those boys.
Really unnecessary.
They brought the heat in the worst possible way.
And they were goths, so there is such a sense of occasion around it, and I think we'll all feel that when we're there, and we'll just have to hope that Liverpool can rise to that occasion. I'm sure they will rise to that occasion as well, and we come out with the trophy.
Absolutely. There's loads of really, really good content to look forward to across the Anfield Wrap audio and video. We've got some fantastic stuff planned. A couple of surprises, hopefully, for you as well over the next few days. We'll be from the bus, as we've just said, from tonight. We'll be doing content from the bus. Obviously, the stuff they would have done beforehand as well, going out a few days. But we couldn't let the week pass without acknowledging Divock Origi. Josh, you got a lovely send-off on Saturday, the Guard of Honour, and then presented by all the ownership group with something really special as a memento of his fantastic moments, and so many of them. But I think the big one for him, for Divock, aside from all that, is getting an Anfield Wrap Appreciation Day. Divock Origi Appreciation Day on the Anfield Wrap. Not many players have had it. He has one today. I mean, I'm sure it's huge for him.
I think there's only been one player in the past who's had it, and that's Joe Allen. So it speaks volumes to how much of an important big occasion that is for these players. For Divock Origi to say he's only the second Liverpool player ever to have got an Appreciation Day by the Anfield Wrap is obviously a massive thing. And no, it's nice to be able to celebrate Divock, isn't it? Because I think we were all hoping he was going to be part of that Wolves squad on Sunday, so that we get the chance to see him run out onto the pitch for that last time, give him that standing ovation and that kind of thing. And we got to give him that obviously after the game, and the way he spoke after the game showed how much he genuinely does love Liverpool Football Club, and obviously that feeling is completely mutual in terms of the fans' love for Divock. There'll be fans who would genuinely let Divock Origi have a statue, and I think I include myself among that number. So he is a Liverpool legend. The term cult hero gets bandied around, and I always think cult heroes for Liverpool are people like Kyriakos and stuff in the past, the lads who weren't that good at football but came up with big moments in occasion. Divock Origi was dead good at football and came up with some of the biggest moments you will ever see in your life. All of the sort of biggest trophies that Liverpool have won down the years, Divock Origi has had a massive hand in. So he is a Liverpool legend, he deserves to be celebrated, and I'm glad that we get the chance in the Anfield Wrap to do that today.
Absolutely. So by the time you watch this, there should be a show for free, which I actually did a couple of years ago with Arnold Origi, who's Divock's cousin, who had a fantastic story involving the last Champions League final in Madrid. So there's a couple of fans who he helped out on the day with tickets, and then hearing from the man Arnold Origi himself, who is a professional footballer, played at the time over in Helsinki. I'm not sure where he is now. I'll have to look into it. But Arnold Origi helped us out with that, and a couple of fans. So that's something that we put together a couple of years ago that I really enjoyed sort of working on. That's going out for free this morning. Then we've got a best of Divock Origi. There was actually a leaving present from Lizzie Doyle, when she went off to the BBC, put it together for us, and it's all the great Divock moments from Pinks. So it's post-match show, so it's also reacting to all these fantastic Divock Origi moments, all cobbled up together. That's going out for audio subscribers later today as well. In terms of video, we've got an image special, so me and Kev Walsh looking through some fantastic images of Divock Origi and talking about our memories of those times and the emotions that come when you look at them as well. And also, there's a small chance he might have won an Anfield Wrap award, so we do the Embodiment of Liverpool award every season. It's voted for by you. We'll be announcing that later today as well, but Divock's in with a good chance of that, I would say. Top three, at least, nominated for that as well. So loads to enjoy. Anything else I've forgotten, Josh?
I don't think so. I think you've covered all bases. It's a good time to be a Liverpool fan, isn't it? Yeah. Days like today really make you sort of realise, and we're all gutted about Sunday, we're all gutted about how that went, of course, because we felt like we were sort of inches or moments away from the league title. But we've got a European Cup fan on the horizon now. If you'd have said to any Liverpool fan at the start of this season that would have won all three of the cups we could possibly win aside from the league, then I think you'd have absolutely bitten somebody's hand off, considering how last season went, as I mentioned before. So what a time it is to be a Red, what a time it is to be supporting a football team that's managed by Jurgen Klopp, and what a time it is to be watching these footballers play. Yeah, absolutely. One more game to go. Try and get some work done in work this week, but if not, we've always got Jude, haven't we? So absolutely. Nice one to everyone for joining us this morning. Nice one, Sam, for filming Up the Reds.